This is a result of a 1080 drop that happened on Saturday. I was away on Sunday. We had checked all the fences, all the gates on the Saturday morning. The helicopter had checked there's no livestock in the bush. We're certain we'd done everything that was asked of us. Monday morning I went out just to check on things, realised that they had broken through a gate, and immediately got 24 from across the river, and thought we had them all. It wasn't until we counted the rest of the mob that we realised we're still missing some. In the afternoon we went, Manager John Gray and I, we went across with our dogs and retrieved another 14, and we put them in a paddock beside the drop zone just to keep an eye on them. There is no sign of any poisoning. We thought we were lucky. They looked healthy, they're running around, they're curious, they're acting normal as cattle. And it wasn't until we shifted them out of that paddock to bring them back home for drafting and putting them in different paddocks that when the stress came on, they started dropping.
This one was really, it's just only died. Still warm as.
It really surprises how unpredictable this poison is. It obviously was a low dose rate, and it was 2 days, and this was brought on by a wee bit of stress, the cattle moving. We don't know how many of the other cattle have ingested it, and we don't know what to do right now, apart from keep as much stress as possible off them. We don't know if the poison will pass through the system. After looking at the trauma in some of these animals, it's highly likely there are others have been poisoned by this 1080.
It's still warm.
Still warm?
Yeah.
I think it's insidious the way these cattle have gone down poisoned at 2 days after they were taken out of the drop zone. You know, how many more months down the track are we going to see other cattle dying for whatever reason? You know, even if they live, you know, is it going to remain the tissues that go into the food chain? Any organs, is it going to cause undue stress to prevent any weight gain? Any damage, is it going to cause death at a later date? We don't know, and it's left us with a situation where there's a big question mark over it, and we don't know what to do next. We might need a bit of help to determine what's the best for the rest of these animals. As soon as it happened, we got the local vet in to do an autopsy, and his findings were, visual findings were symptomatic of 1080 poisoning, possibly low dose rate. The first one that went down showed definite kidney stress, a breakdown. Both had heart attacks. I'm certainly not pointing the finger at anyone. I think the FX contractors saw this happen, and they were behind me carting a red deer out. I think they've done everything in their power to communicate with us, and this is a very unfortunate incident.
Waikato Regional Council have done a block over here on Saturday. We found this deer here yesterday dead. Stone throw across the gully from my house, chopper going across the gullies. You know, I've got a young family. You know, we swim in the river and do everything. We don't want to take my kids down there for a swim in the river, and there's dead animals in the river and poisoning the river and the whole food chain. After that, you know, they tell you that it doesn't go in waterways, it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that, which is all bullshit. I have a cousin that is a very experienced trapper. He came in and done a couple of lines on a bit of area of this bush. So this bush can be done by ground control. I don't know whether it's necessary that they need to go and apply the poison via aerial in this block.
Yeah, over the last 15, 20 years or so, I've been involved in quite a few 1080 drops, and I've been increasingly concerned about the ethics of 1080 broadcast methodology, and also the 1080 industry. One of the things I have been concerned that has got my back up is the environment in Waikato, or whoever they call themselves now, and the powers that be have been very dictatorial towards private landowners. I would like a much larger say in what happens to our land, especially with our bottom line. Hopefully we'll see that change, but up until now there's been a very abysmal record as far as communication goes. This is a beautiful farm, as you can see. We encourage young families that can't afford holidays to camp on the river. We have school parties camping on the river. In the last 6 months we've probably had up to 300 people here using our facilities, and I can't really recommend that to them while there's 1080 around. We also have a lot of tourists, foreign tourists, and we're about to set up a tourist industry here. And it's not very, I can't in all honesty say that we're clean green when we've got 1080 and we can point deer dying on our farmland, and no bird life, and which is a real concern to me. When I was first here, we had an abundance of bird life. I remember tomtits being quite common in the bush before 1080. Now I haven't seen a tomtit for years. Right now we can hear a wee bit of bird song, and that's all good, but it's been barren since the 1080 drop, and once you hear bird life, we're almost bound to realise that there's about to do another 1080 drop. I do like to work together with people instead of being confrontational, but we will endeavour to look at alternatives, whether we self-control or bring in trappers to do our own control, etc. It may cost money, but the ethics say that we've got to look at something very different.